Hi, and welcome back to the podcast, which frustratingly still has no name. Yes, it's episode 11, or, wow, we'll see if I have to rejig any of the episodes, or maybe do this preamble again. But yes, the podcast still has no name. Sorry about that. It's still in the workshop. Hey, one is very much in first place right now, but we'll see how it goes. Hi, I'm Ryan, your host of this podcast, which seeks to disentangle the British Asian experience from a Gen Z perspective, delving into the nuances of identity, culture, and heritage of our quote-unquote Asian guests. Today's guest is Sama. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sama. I'm a second-year English literature student.
Cool, awesome. Second year, crazy. Just previously, I had a few more graduates on, so I can't really ask you about graduation, but I can ask you about second year. How have you found it? Rom-Vic exam.
Rom-Vic exam.
Crazy.
It was shocking.
Shocking.
Second year.
Just second year, just long. Wait until you get third year, bro.
Yeah, not looking forward to it.
Oh, really?
I know.
Yeah, with the second year kind of like module options this year, really bad.
Yeah, I just want to know what modules I'm taking, honestly, because we had to put 12 in.
Oh yeah, they changed the system. Yeah.
Because we couldn't rank it anymore. We had to put 12 that we were just happy with, which I wasn't. I double put a few of them. But I just want to know which ones I've got at this point. And yeah, Rom-Vic exam. It was okay. It was weird doing an exam. But I'm glad it was over and done with quickly.
Yeah, it's quicker than yeah. I feel like when you throw an exam with like a bunch of essays as well, it's quite nice because it breaks it up a little bit. And you do different kind of like tasks as well. You're revising instead of actually writing, if you get my drift.
Yeah, it was decent, and apparently the mark leniently, so
apparently, again, I don't know what the curve's going to be. Allegedly, I don't know where you got that from. But anyways, usually the format of the podcast is I ask you a question about food. Your question for this episode is a type of food which you really want to try out.
Can I say hibachi? I really want to experience that. That looks really fun.
But like it just looks really fun. Is that the...
It just looks cool. I want to try it.
Okay.
I've seen clips of like it being made and like the fire going up really big. I just want to... You want theatrics with your food. Yeah, I want the theatrics.
Okay. You just don't... What like flavour too, obviously.
Yeah, flavour obviously.
Flavour obviously.
Brown. Like I want flavour.
Okay, that's fair. But like you want just to add a bit more theatrics to it.
Yeah, I just want to experience it. I feel like it'd be quite fun.
Fair enough. I mean, have you been in like a ramen bar, or like a sushi bar where you like see them making it in front of you?
No, I've not.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah. I've just named two other Japanese kind of like two other Japanese things. Well. I guess they also have quite like performative ways of cooking food.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, I agree. I haven't actually tried it before, so it does look quite fun.
Yeah.
Where they crack an egg.
Yeah, exactly.
And they do all the tricks and stuff. They hide the egg and stuff like that. Looks quite fun. So going on to the other question to introduce you to the listeners is the most interesting one for you, I think, specifically, is where you're actually from.
Okay.
But, the whole saga.
Yeah, no clue how to answer that in one sentence.
Yeah, I don't need one sentence, bro.
I was born in England. My mom's side of the family lives in England. But as soon as I was born, moved to Pakistan. So lived in Karachi till like 2011, so about 7 years of my life. And then moved to Dubai and have been there till now, basically. Here for uni, obviously, but based in Dubai.
So, let's get into it. So, Pakistan.
Yes.
What was it like? Honestly, that's such an open question. And we already had like a deep discussion prior to the podcast as well. But like, I feel like for the listeners, I feel like it would be really interesting to know just like how was it like being in Pakistan, and also like dotting around, like bouncing back and forth between Dubai and Pakistan during those years of your life.
Well, I was quite young, so I was very much just living my life and doing whatever I liked. Like, I didn't have any pressures on me. So I really enjoyed my time living in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And when I do go back, I still really enjoy it because I've got all the nostalgia and like childhood and sentiments attached to it. I wouldn't move back there, but I really enjoyed living there and I love going back. I went to primary school there to like year 2, year 4-ish. And I did nursery there, and I do have a couple of friends still there, so when I do go back, I do have fun. But it was very much like a normal childhood, just like going around to people's houses or like just playing in the garden, just like doing whatever. And I was
doing whatever.
Yeah, I was privileged enough to like have a good life there, which yeah.
So yeah, while we were having this discussion, you did bring up the whole I guess the whole idea, the whole concept of like privilege in Pakistan as well, specifically in the city that you grew up in, right? Like, do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that as well, of just like this idea of how you were so much more privileged than other people, I guess?
Like, I was fortunate enough to like be okay. So what I've noticed in Pakistan, or in Karachi at least, to my exposure, was there's either the really, really fortunate and privileged, or the very much not, like the ones living in poverty or like below poverty. You're in one of those two. There's very much not a middle ground, and people who I have spoken to about it have also said the same thing. It's very hard to find that middle ground, and I was privileged and fortunate enough to be in the half where I could have a good life and really just enjoy my childhood. Like going back, there's people my age who I know of who are working as house help because they do not have the same opportunities presented to them that I do. So I guess that's where you can see the privilege a lot.
I guess building on kind of the image of Pakistan in your head.
Yes.
Can you share like some good memories that you have of like Pakistan?
Piling into like the car with like all of my like cousins and like family. Like there's like 7 of us in like a 3-seater back seat. And like just all staying on top of each other and just like going to the beach and like driving really fast.
That sounds fun.
It was quite fun.
Sounds really fun.
But that's also because we had the privilege where like, as bad as this is, if we were pulled over, we would be fine because we had money and we could just be like, it's okay. And like, because there was just like slide some money across.
yeah.
So like there was that. That was quite fun.
That was quite fun.
Just like going over to like people's houses for sleepovers because I was young. We did go to the mall, to answer your question.
Okay.
Like me and my cousins would go to the mall, but we'd have like obviously an adult with us.
Oh yeah, chaperones. I forgot. Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Exactly.
Because like my flatmate Anushka, who you know,
I know.
She was talking about kind of, I don't know, it's like the dating. I don't know, dating is a very loose term, but kind of like the courting culture.
Okay.
Like in South Asia specifically, and how like chaperones are kind of a big thing, like especially when it's like, it's even an arranged marriage where like the families do know each of the parties that are going to meet up with each other. There's still a chaperone that's kind of like walking around the mall, which I think is quite I feel like it's an alien. It should be. I don't know. It feels like it's an alien concept for me personally, but I think for a lot of people who just aren't surrounded by that culture, it's just like, you're just going to the mall, just with a chaperone or like a driver even, but the driver just chills in the mall with you.
Just chills in the mall. Yeah, well, I mean, we had a chaperone because we were quite young, but I do know people who have been in that courting culture, like the marriage market, I guess, and are getting arranged marriages who have gone on dates or gotten to know people with a chaperone a couple seats away.
A couple seats?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they would be across. I would
not like close enough to like hear conversations, but like there as not mediator, but like a presence.
A presence, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like from my perspective, it just seems a little bit kind of
archaic.
Yeah, that's one word to put it, but it just feels a bit weird, doesn't it? Yeah. It's just like, you got someone like, you're always looking over your shoulder when you realistically should be spending time with the person that you wanted to spend time with, right?
Yeah.
So, clearly you have your opinions on it.
I think it's quite archaic and quite not necessary. Because it also does seem like it's a way to, in a cultural aspect, try and protect, I don't know, like, virtue and remain modest. You're just getting to know someone, but there's nothing improper going on, which I don't feel the need for. Like if you're old enough to be getting to know someone and be considered for marriage, you're old enough to be able to be autonomous and make your own decisions about it and be trusted, I guess, to do what is right or what they believe or what you believe is right. I don't know. I don't really approve of it, but I don't think many people would. So
that's fair enough. I feel like, archaic is a good way of putting it. A little bit redundant as
Yeah,
well.
redundant.
But I feel like going back to your background and going back to your upbringing, let's bounce over to Dubai.
Okay.
And start kind of like unpacking a little bit of what the transitioning was like from going from Pakistan to Dubai. Because I know you did mention prior that you did bounce back and forth like school wise and stuff like that. But I think for the listeners, I think it would be quite interesting for them to hear about maybe your comparisons between the two countries.
So I did primary and secondary both in Dubai, and the main struggle I had when moving to Dubai from Karachi was my accent, or just like blatant racism that I experienced. Because I had quite a freshy accent, which isn't the best term to use.
For the listeners out there, freshie is
fresh off the boat.
There you go.
I had quite a brown accent, as people would say, because I was born and raised there, so it was like normal. But coming to Dubai, which was quite a multicultural place where you would assume it wasn't that big of a deal or that deep to have a different accent, I did get made fun of quite a bit. So I did try and put on a British accent, or like just like change the way I said certain words.
Okay.
So I was less judged or less looked at or less picked apart, I guess. And then the accent has just kind of stuck. But that was like my initial struggle when moving to Dubai from Karachi.
Also, I think a topical tangent.
Yeah.
The international accent, especially in the UK, it's an interesting one because a lot of people, especially UK home students who go to uni for the first time and befriend or get to know a lot of international students who have bounced across the world, who have very vibrant backgrounds, right? It's quite interesting when they first encounter the international accent because they do think it's like nothing that they've heard before.
They get quite baffled because they're like, you say some words really Britishly, but then you're quite American in the way you speak as well. I've got Irish sometimes in certain words, Welsh, Australian, Canadian. It's everything.
It's everything, which is a really interesting one. Like, are there any anecdotes where like someone was like, "Oh, you're like,"
just the general like bafflement that people like face me with, like, where are you actually from? And I'm, I don't know. But
I can't really answer that question.
Can't tell you. But I went to a British school, so that's why I sound like this. But yeah, it's just general bewilderment that I get.
But was it the same bewilderment well, I guess it wasn't the same bewilderment when you were in Dubai because it was just more racist.
No, it was more just like, what are you doing?
Just speak properly.
Yeah.
But like, was this from like white, like school kind of like peers? Or was this from like just the general? Like, well, where did this kind of like judgment come from?
I think there was obviously like internalized racism, which everyone has at this point. But like, I was so young and I had that because I went to like a really white school in primary. So there was the whole thing of trying to fit in and assimilate and just be one of them. So I was quite, I guess, embarrassed of my culture or the way I was in comparison to everyone else. So there was that. And because I went to such a white school, they were, I don't know, once again, just quite baffed at the way I was speaking, because they hadn't been exposed to it, because a lot of my peers were just British kids, white British kids. So that was that.
That's fair enough. Honestly, it's quite funny how it's like, you wouldn't think so, like in Dubai.
No, exactly.
Right, being such a now I know an international country, but also again like a huge population of it is from South Asia, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think so, right? But far out, bro.
I mean, obviously it was easier when I got to secondary and people were a bit more conscious of what they would say.
Yeah.
In primary, everyone just kind of says what they want, and boys are just horrible. And like even up until year 8, I guess, it was just a bit rough. Sometimes speaking in a brown voice, or I wouldn't. If my mom called me, I wouldn't speak to her in Urdu in front of everyone. Like she would ask me something in Urdu, but I'd just reply in English because I was just a bit embarrassed. Or like cultural clothes, I wouldn't, like on International Day, I'd go in wearing the cricket shirt, if anything. Aww. I wouldn't wear like the shalwar kameez, which is the national dress of Pakistan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear that because I'd just be embarrassed of it. But yeah.
Fair enough. So, we'll go to the next step.
Okay.
And we'll transition from... Well, no, actually, there was another thing that I did want to mention that we did talk about prior the podcast as well, about how evil your mum was.
Okay, she's not evil, she's a wonderful woman, but she was just kind of evil when she kept me enrolled in school in Karachi because there was some of the holidays were a bit different. So I moved to Dubai in year 2, but I was enrolled in school in Pakistan till year 4. So when I would go back in summer holidays or winter breaks or Easter breaks or anything, because there would be a break in the Dubai term, I'd go to school in Karachi and I'd pull up and everyone would be like, why are you here? I'd be like, my mom's doing it. So yeah, mom was kind of evil keeping me enrolled in 2 schools, and in holidays I'd still be going to school. But yeah.
Yikes, bro. Yikes. But like, even then, like, I feel like you did gain quite a good skill of being able to adapt really quickly, right?
Yeah.
Like Dubai, Pakistan,
Yeah,
Dubai,
exactly.
you know? And then it all culminates into you landing and arriving in the UK.
Yes.
And we were discussing kind of like culture shocks because I feel like it's safe to say that most international students do get a bit of culture shock when they do arrive in this country because this country is whack. But you said that it was kind of okay.
It was kind of okay.
Chill.
Yeah, because my mom's side is here, so I would come back quite regularly. So I knew what to expect when coming here, and I knew what it would be like living here. Like, I didn't have as big of a culture shock. The only thing I would say was a culture shock would be the fact that we don't speak about money here, and having money is a taboo. It's like a bad thing if you've got money and your parents can afford to give you things or like do things for you and you don't have to struggle. Which, yes, very fortunate, very privileged, but it's a bad thing if you don't have to struggle, which was quite different coming from Dubai to here. Because in Dubai, it's not that big of a deal if you've got money, which, once again, a very privileged statement to make. I do know that. But coming here, that was the biggest culture shock, I'd say.
The biggest culture shock. I mean, what about the food? We didn't even bring up the food.
Oh, yeah.
That's also quite a common kind of culture shock of like getting used to kind of the food.
I guess so. Yeah, like when I came here, like when I would come here on holidays and stuff,
Yes.
because mom's side was here, I was in London in quite a Pakistani diaspora. So I was quite fine with like halal meat because I'm Muslim. Everything was quite accessible to me. Coming to uni, it's been a bit of a struggle, like getting halal meat, or like in first year I'd have to go off campus to buy halal food, which was a trek because no one really went off campus in first year. You'd kind of just stick in the bubble.
Where is the nearest place that you get halal food from?
Halal meat, I'd get Sainsbury's, like
Sainsbury's.
chicken.
Yeah, I know that they have a halal.
They have a halal section, which is quite good. So me and my flat, or like, so if someone would be going into Cov, we'd say like, "Can you get me this? Can you get me this?"
Oh, okay.
So it was quite good, but I guess that's been the hardest.
The hardest bit of like actually
with food,
getting halal.
Yeah.
So are you like usually veggie then? Like, do you try?
I went pescatarian for a bit.
Okay.
Not like strictly. Like if there was like halal chicken, I'd have it. But for cooking, because I can just buy prawns or just buy salmon or just buy cod or something, and I'd be fine. I was on a very strong diet for fish fingers in like term 1 of first year, and I'd go back and my mom would be like, "What do you want? Can I just make fish fingers?" Because she didn't want to go in the kitchen, and I was like, "I'm not having fish fingers, like anything but that."
Okay.
But yeah, I went pescatarian for a bit because most seafood is halal. But yeah, that was food.
Good. That's
food
a good clarification for me because I was going to ask that.
No,
like,
most seafood is.
Am I wrong? Am I misinformed?
Most seafood is halal.
Okay.
There's like certain ones that aren't. I can't remember which ones.
Okay.
But it was just like easy in that way.
Okay, so pescatarian was like the alternative.
Yeah.
Which made it slightly easier to kind of assimilate a little
Exactly.
bit. And there isn't too many roadblocks to
Exactly.
kind of like living in the UK, right? Okay, awesome. No, that's also quite interesting because I've heard like lots of stories of international students finding it quite difficult to assimilate to the food. One is because like I think if you have like British flatmates, they're just gonna stink out the kitchen with chips and chicken nuggets, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's also kind of the range and the variety of like ingredients that you can get if you get my drift.
Yeah.
Like Asian.
Yeah, I go to
like
the Asian grocery store now.
Stores. Yeah, it's like, well, in Asia, you're easily gonna get rice.
Exactly.
And the specific type of rice that you want.
Yeah.
But in this country, like, you need to go to a specific supermarket. You can't just go to your local supermarket.
Exactly.
Tesco, Sainsbury's.
Like if I want brown seasonings, I have to go to the Asian supermarket like down the road.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one big thing as well, like trying to find ingredients that they want to use for day-to-day cooking, right? But that's also quite interesting how you're like fish fingers.
Yeah.
That's a good alternative, but again, you just got sick of it.
I got so sick of it. I haven't had like fish properly this year, like second year.
Oh really? Just no fish whatsoever?
No.
Don't want to touch it again?
I've had like salmon. I went through a phase of like salmon and cream cheese bagels.
Okay.
Like this term because it was like I was in the library so much I just needed to pack something. But otherwise I've had like no fish.
No fish.
Because I just couldn't do it.
So then, how do you? Okay, we'll continue on the food train, I guess.
Okay.
Train of thought, not train. So what do you like usually cook? Like, what's the kind of cuisine or like the type of like meals that you kind of cook day to day? Like, do you have rice usually every day or no, not really?
I have pasta quite a bit.
Okay.
Because it's just really easy and like I can just put like random stuff in it and it like make a different meal each time, like so it's not as redundant.
Yeah.
Like quesadillas, everyone does that at uni. Quesadillas, fajitas, really.
Bro, I cook a lot of Chinese food because it's just like, I've done it for so long now, third year, bro. And like, I've just gotten it to a science. Like, I can just do it. Like, I can marinate meat like through nose. I can just smell. Okay. I can just smell the marination, just know that it's gonna taste good. Okay. And then I've got like ways of like cooking things really quickly, or like meals that I know off the top of my head. Okay.
I tried making a curry once in like first year, and then my flatmate sat in the window and like had it open because she was like, "This is stinking too much," and I was like, "Fair enough, like must have been," because I was stinking up the kitchen. But
with like good flavors, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, it was decent.
Yeah.
It was decent for like my first time ever trying to cook it.
Oh, are you not the greatest cook?
I can cook.
Yes.
It's just I don't enjoy it. So I don't do it a lot.
I can see why you and Anushka are friends.
Yeah.
Okay. It's becoming more clear now.
Okay. I just like I just never cooked a curry before. So I was like trying it for the first time. Yeah. And because I just put so much like seasoning and like.
Oh right, you kind of.
It was just
you didn't know kind of the.
No, I like didn't know what I was doing.
And stuff. Okay.
I was like putting onions and then like chopped tomatoes, then just all of these like Shan packet masalas in it.
Yeah.
And it was just it was long.
It was long. Okay. So another thing that I should probably ask is like your opinion of like British Indian food then. I don't know where this question has been influenced by one of my recent experiences with like British Indian food, but like British Pakistani Indian, again British Indian, even that term is just like South Asia. But like have you like had or tried kind of chicken tikka masala and all the other famous British Indian meals?
I've had it like once. I don't remember where. It was kind of mid.
It is mid.
But like when I've had it from like actual brown restaurants, like it's been banging. Like Sizzlers, shameless plug in Lem. Sizzlers, banging student biryani. Get it quite a bit.
Okay. I'll take that up.
Yeah. And it like actually tastes like home. Like I had a friend who visited from Pakistan the other day, and she was like, okay, like she actually approved of it, and. Yeah, British Asian food. I don't know. I get the samosas once a week sometimes.
Hey, the samosas are pretty good.
And the food market. Yeah. Get those. Yeah.
So, since we are about to run out of time, I think I have a final question for you, Summer. Having influences from both the East and West, so you, again, have been from the UK, but also having lots of cultural customs learned, given to you, obtained in Pakistan. Is there a particular element of your character that could sum up this weird like liminal space that you're in?
I think my whole stance and the way I am with family, I really struggle with because of this weird limbo. I've known what the expectation was of me from a very young age, being in the culture that I was surrounded by growing up, where in the very patriarchal society in like the South Asian culture, was the daughters grow up, get their like bare minimum education, get married, and their expectation is to just get married and have a family. I'm very much not doing that. I'm going to university, which was a big thing because a lot of girls I know my age haven't done that. The people I knew growing up, they've gotten married and are starting a family or have started one. And yes, it is what they wanted but then also that is the only choice they had because that's what they were surrounded by. And I'm sure if I'd stayed growing up in that is also the choice that I would have made. But I do still want to start a family, but I also want it to be much later on, and I want to get my degree and I want to start working, which is also another big thing, because a lot of people I know, and a lot of the women I know back home in Karachi, they don't work. They are just housewives, which is nothing wrong with that, but that is their life, and that is not the life that I want. But it's also, I know that's the expectation that's been put on me. And I know I'm quite privileged in that society to have gone to university and to be doing that compared to other girls I know my age. But even then, it's not something, like getting married and having the family is not something I want right now, even though it is probably in my near future. But yeah.
I don't think that's fair, though, honestly. Speaking to girls about kind of like marriage, like especially ones in my year group and people who are at uni and just thinking about like our families and stuff like that, it's quite an interesting kind of conversation to have, because you get such a variety of kind of like answers, I guess, like reasons of like, oh, I don't want to bring, like the world is really bad right now, so I don't really bring new life into it, or it's like I want the choice, but right now like I'm completely like terrified of it, or it's like the fear of what birth can do to your body and stuff like that. So it would be interesting to hear, I guess, your reasonings of like if there is any kind of hesitations towards it, or like why you say it's like in the near future, you wouldn't have it now.
No.
But like what's the time scale then?
Well, I really do want a family, but I think that's also been influenced heavily by the fact that I have two younger brothers who I love with like all my heart, and I spend all my time with when I go back home. That's definitely influenced it. But I have always just wanted a family, and I do think like that's just something like I do think that's something I'm like destined for. Like I think I'd be a wonderful mother. Like that is something I want to do. But I also don't want to do it because I want to work and I want to have a career and I want to like enjoy my 20s. Like in a weird way, I don't want to do it because I know it's expected of me. Like I want to push it off a bit, and I want to be an anomaly in this society and in the culture I've grown up with. And when I do have kids, I want to show them like it's okay, and like I want to show my daughter like you can work and you can just have a family later on, even though it is a bit of a cultural taboo. If I ever move back to Karachi, it would be a thing, like, oh, I'm like 30 and I've only just started.
Okay.
Like that would be a thing.
That would be a thing. Oh.
I don't know. Like I know it's been expected of me, and the degree I have chosen will lend itself to me being able to have a family. And like even though I did want to be a teacher and like I did want to do English from a very young age, there was also like thinking gone into it, because once again, what was expected of me was to have a family quite young, and I get married. And if I am a teacher, I'll have the same holidays as my kids and be able to take them to school and come back from school with them. It was just the most feasible career with like family in mind. And while family is something I also want, it has also, I don't know, thrown me off a bit, because while I didn't get full autonomy over it, like I wouldn't have been able to go into like, not that I wanted to, like never in my life want to go into investment banking or like, but I didn't have that opportunity or like pathway. But then again, I am very privileged, and a lot of girls my age haven't had that any at all, and I have. But yeah, I don't know.
Very interesting insight, very interesting perspective on just marriage in general, of just like this approach. Something that I think is very unique and something that I personally haven't come across before. So it's been really interesting listening to you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for guesting. I hope you've had fun.
Yeah, I have.
But yeah, thank you for any of the listeners out there. I hope you've enjoyed our discussions on bits and bobs, on food, on marriage, and on being in this liminal space. Just being in a true third culture. No, true international student, you know? But anyways, thank you for listening. I've been your host, Ryan, and we will see you in the next episode.